Why do you believe Orthodoxy is the true faith and the fullness of Christ's revelation? Well, we talked about this already with those 4 lines, the 4 threads of ordinations, doctrine, worship, and results. If you can find a church that has those 4 threads that go from the time of the apostles until today, and it has to have all 4, then you can be sure you found the true church. So the church is called the fullness of him who fills all in all. We're told there's one Lord, one faith, one baptism. So if we want to discover what the Bible really means, we have to find the church that first compiled the Bible in the first place. We have to find that church. And when we find that church, you'll find that indeed the fullness of Christ really is there. The saints are the proof of that. The church continues to produce people who look, act, and speak like the apostles, who have that same confidence and power in their speech, and continue to work great miracles, are clairvoyant. The saints are just the proof. The miracle working relics are the proof. If we don't have those things, we have to ask why. Is it possible that God gave a revelation that was somehow more present and more powerful to the apostles 2,000 years ago, but then it was decreased for us? And that the same faith, the same results are not available to us? There's nothing in the scriptures that say that would happen, but why? Why would God do that to us? No, God remains with us ever present, just as he was in the early church, and so the results are the same. And Orthodoxy sees those results all over the place. 16. What advice would you give to those who have doubts and are searching for truth? The human heart yearns for truth, but more so the human heart yearns for love. It's very interesting that you can spend your entire life seeking truth and studying it and still feel dissatisfied. And the reason is that your heart wishes to experience love. And without that, we're miserable. We're miserable. We're like just computers. We're just studying, but we're not really experiencing. In Christianity, truth is a person. Truth is not an idea. It's not a philosophical concept. It's not an ideology. Truth is a person. It's the person of Jesus Christ. So when you meet the truth in Christ, you also meet one who already loves you perfectly and seeks for you to become a mirror in heart so that that love can be reflected back to him. This is what we really want. If you have some doubts, the first thing I would tell you is don't worry so much about it. It's natural to have doubts. We have an imperfect faith seeking perfect faith. And my imperfect faith means that part of my heart is really dedicated to Christ, and part of my heart is still very much attached to myself in this world. And little by little, I'm seeking to overcome that. It takes time. But if you really seek Christ, you must seek him with humility as much as you can. Seek Christ in humility, attend church, find a good spiritual father to talk with there, visit monasteries, read the lives of saints. Spend 1 year just doing that. This is such a big question. It's worth 1 year of your life, certainly. So for 1 year, just say, I'm never going to miss a Sunday. As long as I'm not sick, I'm not going to miss a Sunday at church. I'm going to go find a beautiful Orthodox parish. I'm going to meet once a month with the priest. I'm going to visit monasteries once a month. I'm going to talk with some of the monks or nuns there. Then I'm going to read lives of saints and read the New Testament. For 1 year, I'm going to live like this. And then I'm going to go back to my questions and say, okay, what am I going to do with my life? But, pray, fast, really engage with the life of faith. Just try it for 1 year and see what happens. I think you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at how much you're attacked. The demons attack that which is true and that which they hate, so they'll attack. You'll also be surprised at the amount of grace and how much you change without even realizing it. How can they start exploring Orthodoxy in a genuine way? Well, this is the way. Don't view Orthodoxy as just simply a topic of study. The studying is, important, but on the ladder of importance, it's pretty low, I think. It's more about the encounter. And again, maybe you're wondering simply because you do have your own depressions and anxieties and concerns. Well, run after Christ and the Panagia. Run after them. Again, for 1 year, just try it and see what happens. maybe you won't get rid of all of your anxiety, but if your anxiety levels are like typically a 9 out of 10, you may find that you end the year at a 7 out of 10 and say, I'm going in the right direction. Why would I stop? This path does work. It works because we have 2,000 years of proofs of it working. So seek it with humility and love. And again, seek to speak with somebody local. Find a good, humble priest or a good, humble monk or nun to guide you, and then go based off of their advice on what to read, where to attend, what to do. Find someone to really guide you. And again, if you aren't sure, you don't need to be, we have a tendency today to want to be 100% sure and then delve into it. No. If you're even like 1% sure, then just go try it. And if a year sounds like it's just too much, then try 6 months or try 40 days. But 6 months I think is the least that I would try it. Anything that I was trying that was really life-changing, I try it at least for 6 months. But again, do it with humility. Pray every day. Pray every day. Seek after the Jesus prayer. Mother Siluana Vlad is very good on teaching a lot about this. I don't know what the book's name is in Romanian. In English, it's called God Wears the Wound. It's a great book to begin with a life of prayer, The Way of a Pilgrim. There's many things to read. But seek a good guide to help you along the way. Why do you think your personal testimony is important for Romanian Protestants? I don't know that it is. I don't know. I don't know. If you mean my personal testimony, it's important to you if you want it to be important to you. The truth is many people are really closed off and they don't really care to hear different opinions, and so they won't. You only hear if you want to hear. You only understand if you seek to understand. But if you're very set in your ways, you're going to plug your ears, and there's always a reason, excuse that you can say that so-and-so is wrong. My faith is not based in my personal beliefs. It's based largely in my experiences, but it's also mainly based in the experiences of the saints. I look to those who have had those experiences, and I trust them because, again, there's 2,000 years of them, and there's more than I could read and encounter in an entire lifetime. I found that in following their footsteps, I end up very much experiencing in little tastes what they experienced, and I find it to be true. So what I will tell you is that Protestantism today is kind of falling apart, and people are seeing more and more that it doesn't lead to unity. It's not leading to peace. Essentially, every Protestant becomes his own pope because he ends up interpreting the scriptures and the faith in his own way. And there's a lack of what Christ called us to, which is, if you wish to come after me, deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. In self-denial, we need to seek Christ on his terms, not on our terms. And his terms are not contained only within the scriptures, because that's not what he left us. When Christ ascended, he didn't drop a book down from heaven. He could have. He could have just dropped a book down from heaven and said, follow this, this is it. He left us one thing. He left us the church, which is himself. It's the body of Christ with Christ as the head. So my recommendation is, if you want to seek Christ, seek him in himself, not outside of himself. And he left us himself in the church. So seek out the church that has those 4 lines that connect the time of the apostles until today. 9. What practical steps can someone take to come back to the Orthodox Church? If you're seeking to come back to the Orthodox Church, first, glory to God, go talk with a priest. Find a priest who's a good confessor and tell him that you want to give a good, thorough confession of your entire life if possible, but at least since you left. And again, go with a lot of humility. And I would recommend finding one saint, especially a modern saint who you feel especially close to or has especially impacted you, and just delving into their life and writings for a year. For a Romanian like Saint Cleopa of Siastria's writings and life, just spend the whole year with him, reading him and trying to take in his perspective on things and learn from him. Not a Romanian, but a great one to do that with is Saint Siluan the Athonite. Such a beautiful spirit and just so much that you can benefit from. Again, I mentioned before Elder Arsenie Papacioc. I really love his writings. I find that his approach is so beneficial. So go to confession, and then with some guidance, find a good elder or saint to follow through for a year, and just slowly bring yourself back in. You don't need to rush things too much. Don't overwhelm yourself. Go in with love and with excitement for Christ. Don't go with anxiety, feeling overwhelmed because there's so much to be brought back in. Don't worry about that. You can go little by little. Seek Christ with humility and love, and seek him in prayer, and all will be well.